Hey, how's it going everyone? This is K Collections, and today I'll be doing a review on the Sega Prize figure Heroine X from the Fate Grand Order mobile video game. This is a prize figure, and as always, here's the front of the box, a good display of the figure itself. The side, this is more or less the instructions given. There is some slight assembly required. Some back, if you can read Japanese, then feel free to pause the video. And the Type Moon sticker of authenticity. Here's another side where it has the SPM, the Super Premium logo, as well as the same picture as the front, top, and bottom. And this is the Assassin class. If you don't know the whole entire Fate Grand Order storyline, I'm not going to go too much into it, but this is, to me, it's basically Saber in I guess a sports outfit, but in the Fate Grand Order, this is a Assassin class. There's a whole backstory into it. Feel free to wiki it on Google or something if you're really interested on, I guess, the lore behind it. So here's the figure itself. It looks really good, especially for a relatively cheap figure. I picked this up on eBay for about $25. So a very, very low and budget-friendly figure or statue. And as far as scale goes, there wasn't any number associated with this figure. But when I did some comparison, it did look to be around the 1/7 scale, maybe 1/8. I'll do some comparison a little later on this review, but let's take a closer look at the figure. Honestly, first off, you get a nice clear stand. I did a review on the Sakura Saber. Same stand, it is a little bit smaller, but it's relatively easy to peg in. There's no issue there. There are some slight assembly. You do have to insert the head onto the body, and the hand comes separately, so you're gonna have to put it into her arm. So there's some assembly right there. Other than that, there's not really much else. Taking a closer look at the face, very detailed for the eyes. There are some issues with the hair, and I'll get to that just a little bit, but the paintwork for the eyes look great, honestly. One of the best part of this figure. The mouth is a little light. I wish to put a little bit more paint to it, but that's okay. I'm glad they didn't colored it. I mentioned in my previous videos that sometimes prize figures, they put too much of coloring onto the mouth and it just looks too bright. The hat looks very detailed. I love that, they have the signature saber, one of the strand of hair through the hat. Doesn't make much sense, but hey, that's how we recognize Saber. Sculpted beautifully. Right, you see these individual lines on the hat. They're all sculpted. So beautiful there. The yellow is painted, but it's painted very beautifully. Now let's talk about the hair. So an issue with the hair is there's not enough sculpted lines, so it's kind of like just one piece. Especially on this side, it's kind of tough with her arm in the way. But as you can see, there are no sculpted individual hairlines. So it does look very plain, in my opinion. And going to the back of the hair, not bad. There are some issues with paint right there. But let's move on to the scarf now, because it's very recognizable for this character. Some paint issues from the yellow, it bled onto the blue. And again, you're getting what you paid for, so don't expect this to be like good Smile Company quality. But what I like about the scarf is that it has some nice curves and wrinkles, and it has a decent size to it. Now, one of my biggest gripe with this figure is the sword. As you can see right there, it's very I guess there's too much glitter in it. It's not the typical Excalibur sword that you would see in a Good Smile Company product or Kotobukiya's. To me, it's over glitter. It's a little bit too shiny. I don't know if it's supposed to be like that, but from what I remembered, because I own a Kotobukiya Saber, even the Saber Lily from Good Smile Company, it's just a plain metallic silver, right? So it does look a little bad there. A little too much glitter. There is some, I don't know if you can see, it's kind of faint, but there's like a blue mark on the sword right there. You probably see it. So not the best there, but again, for $25, I really like this figure, especially it being so budget friendly. Going on to the clothing. Clothing's, from what I could tell from images online, it's accurate. I love the wrinkles around the sleeve. Some paint issues with the yellow. Sometimes it's it blends on the blue, or it isn't as detailed. There's the back. I like the wrinkles on the back as well. So as far as sculpt work and detailing of the clothing, it's very good to me, right? There are some paint issues, but I mean, that's okay in my opinion. And going down to the lower portion, nice paintwork for her skin tone. There's her, I guess, her back. And down to the shoe. Let me take off the base. The shoe, the paintwork is a little bit sloppy. Let me focus the camera real quick. There we go. So as you can see, not the best paintwork, but the sculpt work is decent. Doesn't look bad at all for the sculpt work itself. Again, some paint issues here and there. So yeah, this figure definitely looks good, especially on a on a shelf. It does look, if you put it side by side with, I guess, higher quality statues, then there's a big difference. But what I'm gonna do next is I'm just gonna do some comparison with other sabers that I own. Here's just a quick comparison with the Sega Prize figure, Sakura Saber. I did a review on this, so feel free to check it out. And as you can tell, relatively the same scale. So here's another comparison with the Kotobukiya Saber. I also did a review on it, so feel free to check it out. As you can tell, the Kotobukiya Saber is a lot taller, but it has to do with the base she's on. Of course, it has a greater height. But more or less, this figure is around the 1/7 scale, like I mentioned earlier. And when I was talking about the sword, I wish, here's just a side-by-side comparison. Of course, it is a lot shorter, but as you can see, this figure, her sword is a lot more, I guess, sparkly compared to what I guess normally what sword should look. So I only wish it had a nicer finish as far as paintwork goes, but I just want to let you guys see the comparison for the Excalibur swords. So some final thoughts on this figure. It is an excellent statue. Some issues here and there. If you can look past it, definitely grab this figure. I did bought this on eBay, like I mentioned already. I think it's also being sold on Amazon. Feel free to check it out as well. But if you can look past some of the issues, like I mentioned, some of the hair sculpt, the sword especially, and some paint issues, then feel free to get this. I mean, it doesn't cost too much. I especially consider this a great entry point for any anime fan wanting to start collecting anime figures. 1/7 scale or around there, decent size figure. Definitely grab this, especially if you're a huge fan of Saber. I know this is the assassin class, or even if you're unfamiliar with the Fate Grand Order story, I say still grab this. This is, to me, just Saber in an alternate costume. But yeah, hope you guys found this review helpful. If you did, hit the like button, and as always guys, subscribe to my channel because I do a lot more reviews and unboxings, and sometimes when I buy, I guess, Blu-ray and it comes with a digital copy, I give the digital copy for free as a giveaway. So yeah, subscribe to the channel, and as always guys, have an awesome day.